Well, hello, good evening, and welcome. This is me, it's Pluto Man, and this is a no limit single draw tournament that I played yesterday. Did all right in it, as you'll see. Spoiler alert already that I'm not going to bomb out immediately. Now, I haven't put up many videos for a while because I um, haven't played much. It's just feel like I've had more important things to do in my life than play, poker, virtual poker, or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, so I did play this one, and let's see how it panned. As I said, I didn't bomb out. See how far I did actually get, though. Um, Figure that out in the course of probably a two-part video. I think this is going to be. So let's go for this first part. I'm not showing all the hands, but this is a fantastic hand here. Very, very early in the tournament. I think is number. Let me see, 15. I think. Yeah, I think it is. So then I just three bet. See what he does. And I'm to stack off with a hand like this, even with, as deep as we are now. And he just calls a three bet and does that. I don't love that at all, the way he played that. And I think he had some kind of 10 there, I think. Do I go up and see what he had? Uh, yeah, 10-7, okay. So by the way, this is the tournament that doesn't have bounties. They have one, I think, every day that doesn't have bounties, and which, although I'm not a huge fan of, well, in principle, a huge fan of bounty tournaments, they actually are more lucrative. That you can get a bigger EV or bigger ROI rather in a bounty tournament than a non-bounty tournament. It seems to attract worse people. So I don't go very big with my raise here. Normally would go for three times at this stage at least, but. Anyway, so what you can see what I've got here. I don't actually have a hand. I've got three twos, right? But they're blockers. Blockers don't count as much in this tournament as they would in, say, uh, triple draw. Triple draw, if you had this hand to begin with, you'd draw two, so you wouldn't pat here. I still don't think you should, and then you might, be because blocking three of the twos really, puts a big dent in your opponent's chance of hitting a big hand. Here, it's less important because there are lots of good hands that don't involve twos. Um, you know, Number 9 is a monster in this tournament. No, number in this game. The other good thing, number 13, things like that that don't involve a two. Um, so so anyway, I decided to pat snow this, right? Pat bluff it. It's always fun to pat bluff anyway. And I decided to overbet the pot here. I take that down. So now I have a two card draw. I decide to play that on the button. I think 7-6-2 is okay. Mix in the odd two card draw occasionally. Just take that down. And here I have a 10 on the button, right? I'm not showing every hand because that would take a long time. So here we are, 10, 9, 4, 3, 2 on the button. Ryan Air, I want to call him, has lost a little bit of ground already. Inside is down to less than half. But here's any bet. Any bet will do. I've had at least one heads up battle with him, and I remember coming out second best. I checked this back, and what was interesting about that was he drew to the 8-7-6-5, and I don't think I would have. I think I would have just folded there because I mean you could hit a two or a three, but you just don't have a lot of outs there. So now I have I open a Jack 10. I can't fold fast enough. What happens here? Oh, so you drew one, you go and hit. You're a bit of an underdog there, and yeah, neither of them had a lot of chips. So now I'm the biggest stack of this table. Interesting hand here because look at it. I can make the nuts. I can make. So I'm thinking about what I can make. Number one, obviously. Number four. Number 12. Make some absolute huge hands here, but it is hampered. My I'm 25% less likely to hit any of those hands than normal just because I've got the flush draw. Um, so let's see if I can dodge the flush draw. So I have a straight draw as well. He's pat, which is kind of interesting. And look what I've got here. Mate number 4. Wowee. Goes and bets half the pot. Obviously, I'm happy to stack off with this monster, and I managed to. He calls me there, so I've got 5,000 now. So I've made a good start to this tournament. We've only been going about a quarter of an hour. Let's happily fold this. 64 of 4 showdowns. Isn't that nice? 4 out of 4 showdowns. That doesn't happen all the time, but it's a very, very small sample size. Here I've got my draw is even slightly stronger because of the duplicate 2. And see what happens here. He shoves. I have to call here, I think. He's just got, I think I've just got too much equity against whatever he might have there. I think he probably had the 7 draw, and I go and hit. In which case, I hit as an underdog, right? Not a huge underdog, but he was the favourite all the same. So I've been a bit lucky there. Here we go. We moved to a new table, 7-handed table here. Now Ottoman, I think, used to play for Russia. He now plays for Ukraine. Plays for Ukraine, resides in Ukraine. It's not a sport, this. So I go and hit 2 9s, decide to bluff, and I get that through. So a 3-way I don't bluff very often, but occasionally I'll try it, and I'm not going to be winning that pot any other way, am I? So give it a go. Show Me the Nuts has made a good start here. Anyway, this is not what I wanted to see, though. I did not want to see both of them call. I decided to pack because my 10-6 is not a good hand anyway. Even though he goes really small there, I just decide to fold. Absolute bottom of my range there. Big hand here, 9-6-5-4-3 is a monster really, especially when you get it packed. So let's see what happens. I probably would end up stacking off with this one. Obviously I pat, he draws 1, he checks pretty quickly. Bet sort of 80% of the pot, and I get called, which is great. It's up to 6,000 now. 987. But you want to vary that bet sizing. I think it's really important. Something I'm doing a better job of than I used to. Be a bit more of a random man. You always want to be a random man. Not entirely random, obviously, but to keep everybody guessing what that big bet might mean. Like, okay, this time I've hit 2 7s. I would have considered a bluff there at least. At least consider it. You know. Not gonna. I decided to just fold. I mean, I could have 3-bet there. Maybe gone relatively large. Out of position, everything. So 10-8 draw on the button here. Happily raise this. I say happily. It's not a great draw. Is this the time when I start to cook as well as play poker? And this might be why I take a little bit longer to act than normal. Because I'm trying to. So I've got a monster hand here, absolute monster. Now, how do I want to play this? I'm going to have to 3-bet, obviously. So that's the way to start. And he makes the call now. So mix things up a little bit. So check. I decide to check this. Now, normally I'm going to bet. I'm going to bet 700, 800, something along those lines. Sometimes I might even go smaller, sometimes I might go bigger. Sort of 700, 800 is probably what I'll go most of the time here, though. But this time I just decide to check. And I'm even thinking about putting a check raise potentially. If he goes small here, if he bets like 400 or something after the draw, then I might, go to, 1600 or something and see what he does. So let's see how this plays out. So I decided to check there, right? That's not what happens. He goes and bets, 85% of the pot, or whatever that is. And I put in the call, and let's see what he has here. Gosh, he's got 96532, which I think is like number 21. I've got number 22. It's a little bit unfortunate. So I take a little bit of a hit there, a little bit of body blow. Got a good draw here. Obviously, it's encumbered a little bit by the straight draw, because I go and hit my straight. Lovely. Bet 60% of the pot, and I get called. He's got a jack, so lost almost half of what I had a short time ago. Going for 40 minutes. This could unravel here, right? That's the way I feel about it. Giving you a spoiler alert, so you know that, well, it's possible, of course, I could You know, you could buy in, you could rebuy here if you got knocked out. It wouldn't be a disaster to do that because it's there's no bounty tournament. Bounty tournaments it's a really bad idea to rebuy, you know, a long time after you know the tournament starts. It's just a really bad idea because you're playing for a smaller prize pool. So I go through about four times, and he just calls. I draw, I hit an ace, draws two. He's going to actually win this most of the time when I've hit an ace. He checks it back. He's got king queen, which is crazy, right? So he had king queen 10 8 5. So there's no way he should be in the pot there at all. Absolutely no way. But you've got to remember that's a good thing to see that. You lose the pot, but that's a good thing. Seeing somebody there who plays a two-card draw that they shouldn't be like within 100 miles of, and you lose the pot to them. You know, you should be glad they're playing that kind of crap. Um, so anyway, my stack keeps dwindling. Look at it. How am I supposed to pronounce your name? Bossy Cam is what I'm going with. Bossy Cam, but I'm sure that's not correct. Also, it's got a Grave accent, which they don't have in Hungarian. A lot of accents, but they don't have that one in Hungarian. So somebody's decided to really go crazy and use an accent they don't have in their native language, which would be really it's a really mad, crazy thing to do. So um, Bossy Cam wins that, and I've got a monster draw here. 6 of 9 showdowns now. And I don't want to let this go. I don't want to forego this draw. I don't want to not see the draw. That'd be pretty awful. So anyway, I do see the draw, and I go and hit a pair of sixes. So he bets nearly the size of the pot. Just let it go because I've got absolutely nothing. The potential to win a monster pot there, of course. It didn't work out that way. So I go down to 2000, so about three quarters of what I started with. Still have a little bit of stack depth here, but gonna fold. He's gone a little bit big here under the gun, and my draw's not quite good enough. I'd want to call that bet, that raise. I'd want a good draw, like an 8 draw or something, maybe a smooth 9, but that's not what I've got. I had a rough 9 draw, so I don't think it's good enough to make that call, frankly. And 10 5. Okay. 8 7 2. There's a time and a place to open this on the button. It's not here. It's not now. Uh, okay, so you end up winning with 2 3s there. I've got a good draw here, right? Got a good draw. 8 7 6 3. They all fold, so it's like slight little chip up there. Every little bit I can get here. This again, 5 4 2 with a duplicate 2. The button I might open that, but not in that position. 2 8s, 2 2s, not much there. And he raises, and that's enough to get me out of the way. Go past 6 o'clock. We've already had a break in this tournament, actually, and 50 minutes have gone since the start of the tournament. 105 hands here. Here's number 106. What's it going to be? It's going to be something pretty good. Got a 10 8, and I'm pretty sure I go pretty big here. I don't shove, though. Could I get away if somebody shoved on me? I don't know. That would be tough, right? That would be a really tough one. They all fold. It's interesting that raise because it's like, well, it's almost screaming, please, please, please fold. And now you just call. I decide to raise here. He calls. He draws 2. Obviously hit my best card to come out with a bet. He folds. So I'm pretty happy with that. Back to just over 3,000 again. So I joined the Badugi tournament as well, which is about to get underway. Okay, confirm. See a few Badugi hands popping up as well. Here we've got Jack 10 on the cutoff. Got to raise this up here. Absolutely got to raise. So is it registering? There it is. It's fold. So So I'm in 7th of 11 of 11 people in the tournament at the moment. That's clearly going to go up though. So Bossy Cam, he's doing well, isn't he, that guy? From somebody who doesn't really seem all that good. He knows the rules. He knows a pretty good idea. I'm just going to max this out here. Of course, there's a chance he's slow playing something with a with a min raise there. He decides to call just as he draws some and a risk here, and he was drawing live to my hand, which is what I fully expect him to be. But I was the favourite there, and he luckily it holds up. It's going to win like 2 out of 3 times or something like that. So yeah. Um, so here's the very first hand of the Badugi tournament. I start with a reasonable 2-card draw. I take the second draw, despite having to draw 2 again, and I go and hit. When I hit a 97 Badugi, which is great, and it's really odd to play this. He just called my raise, and then he just checked. He didn't re-raise, and then he didn't bet the river, and I bet the river, and he has exactly the same hand as me. So a lot of really weird stuff going on there. He underplayed his hand there. He has to 3-bet there. Has to 3-bet there on the yeah. Um, when I raise him, right? When I raise the turn, he's got to re-raise there. He's got to. Someone makes number 2. Lucky you. And so what happened to Bocky Cam all of a sudden? Boxy Cam, I'm going to say. Give it a so yeah. What happened to him? Now I'm just going to fold this. If I had a really good draw, I'd certainly call. But the fact that it's hampered by having that the the gut shot there, just going to let it go. That's the tricky one. I could re-raise this. I could things like I'm giving somebody incentive to come over the top there. Like Ottoman here could go to like 1300 or just shove. If he just shoved, I'd probably have to fold. He doesn't. He calls though, which is nice. Right. And I discard 1. I presume we're going 1-1-1 here. You'd think so. But no, Ottoman decides to draw 2. I make a 98. Gonna bet this, I think. I think it's good enough in position to bet because you're going to get check raised sometimes. Decides to bet just under half the pot. Um, feel I get some calls there because people might suspect you're bluffing when you're in position like that. No, so here we go. Hand number 153. You're going for about 70 minutes now, and just had a monster draw. I just take it down. Come back reasonably well. This is good enough to raise in this position. Just at the bottom end of my range, and Sniper Dad goes and re-raises, and I just have to get out of the way here. Bottom, if you ever, and especially when Ottoman calls as well. He draws 2, which is just complete madness. Gonna have to 3-bet here. Absolutely got to 3-bet here. When someone calls some raise and then somebody calls, you've got great odds there in almost all situations. So you've got great equity. You just got to pile the money in. So he draws 2 there, you see, and then Alba Fish draws 1. So I go because of the 2-card draw there. I just fire out another bet. What happens here? I just go all in. Whether that's the right thing to do, I don't know. And he calls me. God damn it! So if he draws 1 and he misses. I was a clear favourite there, but still, you're going to lose there sometimes, right? So I'm not hitting at the moment, but 1 draw to go. It's like I don't know whether he's hit or whether he's just got a good 1-card draw. Whatever happens here on the last draw, got 5-2-1. I probably would call a bet on the river here. Just people do enough weird stuff. So now I managed to chip up there. People don't want to shove and decide to 3-bet here. I think I can get away from this hand actually if someone comes on 4-bets, like if Kirby 4-bets. But no, it's up to 9,000, which is great. Didn't win that hand. Sniper Dad actually had 3-2-1. I open this on the button, which is a must, and I think I'm going to draw 2 here. I think 9-3-2, you want to draw 2 actually. 8-3-2, you draw 1. Got 4-3-2, which is fantastic. And Draws 2 again, I draw 1, so I'm going to be betting here no matter what. Here we go, here's the bet. And he check raises me, so I call, right? So looks like I've run into something. Looks like it's one of the 10% of the time he's going to hit a Badugi there, and I just check it back. He hasn't got anything very good. Oh, he actually had something actually pretty good. I think he needs to bet there, you know. He knows I'm going to have a good 3 card a lot of the time, and I might get curious. He should bet. He should bet that, right? Somebody as experienced as him should be betting there, I would say. Um, so go to 666 just over 3 times. What does Natalie do? He calls. She calls. Make a queen. Now if you go all in here, I probably just have to fold. Doesn't though. Has a better queen though, so I'll lose that little well, little-ish pot. Don't have anything here. Fold. Oh. Here we go, 10-8. 777 is it? 744. I'm gonna go too big because I figure that somebody's gonna like. So he just goes all in here. I feel I have to call, do I? Or I think I let it go. Ooh, his re-raise just a little bit too big there, right? Decide to get out of the way. Don't know about that. I think it's really close. So here I've got 5. Hit draw 2. I've got 5-2-1. You've got to get rid of the jack here. There are times when you can keep the jack, but here 5-way out of position. Ditch the jack. It's an absolute must to ditch the jack there. Absolute must. I go and hit a 6, which is wonderful. Now I could have bet the flop too. You know, I think that would have been okay. I wish I had bet the flop now because what does this guy here do? He calls, thankfully, to have a monster, obviously. 6-5-2-1. Go and bet. And he calls the river too. I'm pretty sure he called without a Badugi. I'm pretty sure he had like 4-3-1 or something like that. Can I see what he had? Yeah, he did. He had 4-3-1. He didn't have a Badugi, so that's useful to know, right? He's calling there without a Badugi. I decided to just fold there and fold here as well. I mean, calling there would be okay, I guess. Decided to open this up. I didn't need to go as big as that actually. Min raise would have been fine there, you know. And then go and hit, but I still run into a better hand, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's a small pot. Yet bam. Yet bam. Go bam, his final chip's in there, I imagine. There you go. And see what happens now. And he goes and stays alive with only 600 chips, but you never know. Things like this happen. Could get it all in again now, I guess. He does. No, I think I do. No, I can actually call again. I've got a jack draw here. Got a miss. I've got a king. He's actually got a pat jack. So drawing live to his had the worst possible jack there, by the way. Jack 10 9 8 6. Worst jacks do not exist. I'm down to 6,000 now. Got a pat 10. I will bam it in his face, but no. If he this time I decide I have to re-raise here. I think I absolutely have to. And now I bet this time he goes and he goes and hits. So you're not always going to win them, even though you're favored each time. This time I've got 10-6, pat 10-6, gotta raise that up. And I think just patting that it's a little bit too it's marginal that. I mean actually drawing wouldn't be terrible either. I actually think I think it's really close, this 4-way. Might even be better to draw, honestly. It's really close. 9-6, you've got to keep it, but so yet bam, stay alive, gonna just keep betting. And what happens here? I get raised, which is not much fun. Got the odds to at least I'm gonna draw now though. I think that's what I do. other options to just hold on for dear life, but I don't feel he's got a worse hand than this. He's relatively passive, this guy. Still got the odds to see this last draw, I feel. Go and miss. Unfortunately, I might have been better to have ditched the 10 to begin with. It feels weird getting rid of 10-6, breaking 10-6-2-1, doesn't it? But this is really close. Next one over, I'd definitely raise it, right? So this hand here, down to 3,500, doing really well there. It's kind of, so I don't want to play this. Fold, so I don't have to worry about deciding whether to pat there or break. Feels like breaking there's better because you can hit a really big hand, but if he draws 2 or something, then you've got to pat it. So 10-9, so just coming back a little bit here. There's 2 little parts. Trip 9's lovely. Let's ditch this. Going for 80 minutes now. And 8 minutes of late reg to go. There's no bounties here, so it doesn't attract as many complete people who don't even know what they're doing. This tournament is not like the bounty ones, unfortunately, especially the 330. I'm just gonna just decide to fold here. Just gonna shove here. I don't think there's much else I can do. Just BBBBB could decide to call. They fold, so I get a bit of a chip up there. 6th place out of 12. It's not a big stack, unfortunately. Um, and there are not going to be many people getting paid here. That's the other thing to remember because it's a small field. So I have to think about that too. So I'll go a little bit bigger. We'll pat this pretty much always. Jack 9-8 is just it's not worth drawing to the 98 if you have a this time it's suspicious. I'm finding this 3-bet, this min 3-bet is suspicious here, and I just decide to I nearly call though. Call and draw maybe, but decide to just get out of the way. Feels weak, but his hand just screams, pat 8 or something like that, who knows? It's he goes that small. It's yeah, it's very, very suspicious, isn't it? Anyway, so that's very funny. So Rico Trader doesn't know what he's doing, so I've got to earmark him. It's not the foggiest, making a lovely boat there, by the way. He had that pat, didn't he? I think he had it pat. That's just a beautiful hand. Absolutely wonderful. So even in this tournament, you still get people who have no clue, built in late. So there's still the golden period applies here. I talk about the golden period in these games as being the period sort of about half an hour, the last half hour before late reg finishes. Got 5-3-2, and he just folds immediately. Okay. There's nothing to show me that Bossy Cam knows what he's doing. So I've got Bossy Cam on that table too, right? He's been doing some weird stuff, and not getting a sense that he has a clue. So I'll be targeting him a little bit there. We'll see more of Bossy Cam later. So yeah, I'm not going to call the 1.5 bets here with 8-5-1. I think that's a leak, honestly. 7-5-1 I'd call though. It's kind of close. What's Rico Trader going to do? Did you rebuy there? Is that what you did? I know you actually won the pot. It's just like BBBB, you had a jack, and Rico Trader perhaps was trying to make a straight and missed, and ended up winning the pot. Just that sort of stuff can happen sometimes. So he didn't get eliminated. He managed to double up or something without knowing what the hell he was doing. Something amazing. Okay, Bushman has a king, and what's his face has a jack. What's your name? Falk. Falk 99. Big hand here, right? 97532. Does Rico call me? Yes, he does. And then it's very simple what to do now. He's pat. Just got to bam it in his face, and hopefully he'll call. Come on, come on, come on, Rico. You know you want to call here. Oh, he doesn't, which is very, very frustrating. But at least it gives me a bit of a chip up. Now look who's to my left. Never seen him before. Scabby Dog. Kind of funny name. Fun name. Scabby Dog. First thing he does is open limp, which already is making me think he might not be very good at this game. So always got to watch what these new people do. People buy in the golden period, like really at the end of this period now. So he decides to just pretty much get almost all his stack in, right? He's happy to stack. Oh, he draws two, so he's clearly no idea. And then look what he makes, right? He makes number 11. And he's got 6,000 chips. He's only been there for like 30 seconds. Isn't that just beautiful, right? So I just raise here because I've got 651. You go 1-2-1, I don't bet. Do I decide to bet here? Probably not. If we go 1-1-1, decide to just check. Nothing here. So Scabby Dogs, I now got 7.5. Here we are on the river. He bets. I decide to fold. I just don't feel that my 6-5-1 is going to be good enough, but who knows. So 9-8-4-2 kind of, not a great draw, but it's all right. Bushman obviously, you know, gets all his money in. I make a jack. Luckily, that's good enough. He had a pair of sixes, and that I eliminate him. But there's no bounty, of course. But getting a few little chips there is no bad thing. And I don't have anything here in the small blind. 7 minutes till the next break. So now I re-raise him, right? So Bossy Cam opens under the gun. I re-raise him. He's pat. He doesn't cap. Well, I would cap every hand there, right? So I'm kind of a little bit thinking, what the hell is he doing? So I check. He doesn't. Did he not bet there? Then he doesn't check. So now I bet because I figure I've almost certainly got the best hand. He calls. He's only got 180 behind now. I don't hit, obviously. I still bet, though, because I figure I'm going to have the best hand most of the time. And he just folds. It's just very weird. So he's got no... He's really got no idea, from what I can tell in this game. So Scabby Dog goes and wins this monster pot here with this rough 8 against that smooth 9. Isn't he a lucky bugger? I go and call here, I think. I have to raise this 5-3-1. Don't love this because by doing that it incentivized somebody to just come over the top there. Now see, I've got a made 6-5-3-1 here. Hope you can get some chips in from Vlad. Yeah, Vlad calls, which is good. Bet this. Vlad calls again. That's good. Keep betting. Last draw now is Pat, which I don't mind. It's interesting if he came out and bet himself there. What would I do? Would I raise him? Okay. You see call there, which is good. I have make a little win a reasonable pot there. 2-card draw here. What does Sack Sap do? Does he raise? What does he do? I can't remember what this happened on this particular hand. Well, he certainly does raise, doesn't he? It's just a small raise there. Of course, it's actually not that big a raise. We're all pretty short now. Look how short I am. Need some 11th out of 11. No late reg now, so most of the time I'm not going to qualify. I think it's only the top 5 that get paid here. And let's see, what does Scabby Dog do? He puts me all in. I feel I have to call here. Go and hit a 10-9, and wow, so I survived, right? My draw was better than his. If it had been somebody else, maybe I could have even found a fold, but I don't know. So in an awkward spot there. So Hang on in there. Managed to hang on in there by my fingernails, really. So that goes to 1080. I go to 1080, should I say? He just shoves, and I think I can get away from this. I've got too many chips now to make a call here. So let that one go. What have I got here? I've got it's an awkward one here. I don't know how to play it. Um, cool. I think I draw here. I think that's what I decide to do. Make a king, unfortunately. What does he do? He bets. I just got to let it go, I think. Doesn't bet though, and I have the best hand, so that's lucky. And I have 9,000. God, I broke a jack, make a king that ends up being the best. Nothing here, clearly. What did he have? At some point, he had, God, he had a big draw too, right? He managed to pair up, so that was very lucky. The chance that I could have made my hand and still lost or whatever. So, um, 10-5 draw here. Let's open it up. Oh, I fold. Oh, wow. Now I thought because it was the last hand of the because this scabby dog had been like three betting a lot. Actually, I decide to let it go. Wow, that is tight, isn't it? Now he'd been three betting. I've been raising. He'd been going all in a few times, and I just thought because of that, I just didn't want the hassle of him doing that. So we have a break there. We had a break, and I've got a good draw. I'm certainly opening this one. It's a different lead to a 10, even a smooth 10. It's just disconnected at the moment. Open it up. Scabby dog, what are you doing? It's a bit of a bugger for him if he's disconnected. Right. Right. Get a call. He draws one. I draw one. Don't hit. But again, it's good enough, right? So I'm hitting some not so good hands, but they're good enough to win. And Scabby Dog comes back. His connection comes back probably. Um, so I'm up to almost 11,000. Fourth place out of 10. Only the top five are going to get paid here, so I've really got to. What happens here? I'm going to have to call here at the very least. Uh, right. So I go and hit 5 6 6 5 2 4 immediately, and um and Bossy Cam by the way is drawing two. He four bets. He's shown me so far he doesn't really have a clue. So I happily cap here. I feel I'm going to have the best hand a lot of the time. Bossy Cam, what does he do? Guessing he's Pat, but who knows? He is Pat, right? So I just come out and bet. Wow. Now I re-raise, right? That's interesting. Does he caps it, right? So now I'm thinking maybe he really does have a big hand. So now I'm going to be a bit. Well, so I think now I just let him bet. Wow, and he has number four. This is somebody who didn't have a clue, didn't seem to have a clue about how to play the game, knew the rules clearly. So in fact, he drew two. So both of those things factored into me wanting to put in lots of bets there, and you just had that 1%, hit that 1%, where you're going to hit an absolute monster there that beats what I had. So that's unfortunate, and it's kind of cripples me in that tournament now. So now we're on the final table bubble, but the money does not start on the final table. The money, two players who make the final table will not qualify. Look, I'm in eighth place out of eight now. So even after I've come back, seventh out of eight, still out of the money at the moment. Not in the money positions, and um, yeah, so he goes to 2,400, got a fold. Not enjoying the tournament at this point. Um, I've got a big draw here, obviously. Three fives, don't want to get involved with that. I have a look now at the other table, I think in the single draw probably as well. Um, anyway, so going three-way here, I've got a big draw. Don't really like this hand particularly, not in these circumstances anyway. For 2-2-1, don't improve. He just comes out and basically that's like a donk bet. Um, 1, 2. Go ahead a jack. I think I'm going to have to call here. If someone's pat, then maybe I can draw, but with them both drawing, I have to pat this and just hope neither of them hit. And neither of them do hit. 4-3-1 and a big draw there. So we're going to get a reprieve there, you know. See what I can do with that little stay of execution. Now I decide to raise this. Don't want too many people coming in here. Heads up would be perfect, but seems to be getting too many heads up pots on the Badugi at the moment. So 7,000. Now we go three-way here. I miss. Gonna have to call here because Bossy came through two, so I'm probably drawing live most of the time. Unfortunately, I miss. Still decide to call here though, which is debatable. And now I just fold because my three card hand is pretty terrible. So even if he's like bluffing or something, he might have a better hand than me. You never know. So lose a bit of stackage there too. Go for basically 2 hours, almost 2 hours in the single draw. Just get out of the way here. So I'm at 8th out of 8. It's been on 8 players for a long, long time. That bubble comes up, by the way, when there are 3 players to go. So we still have 3 players to go before the money kicks in. Okay, so a bit of chippage. Changed hands there, but 10-7. Oh God, I get it. He doesn't really even think about it. So now I'm thinking, shit, is this going to be good enough? It is barely, right? 10-7. He had 10-8, just about. Hang on, but you know, as soon as he called, I was like, oh my God, last thing I wanted to see. But luckily, my hand was just better than his. And that puts me, back into the reckoning again. I'm not in the absolute danger zone now, or Scabby Dog, whatever. If I have a big hand, Scabby Dog has a better hand than I'm out, but Falk still has almost as many chips as me. Got a hand of sorts here. Can't call this bet though, this raise. So Scabby Dog seems to have, made the most of that. A fantastic start he had in the tournament. Bought in 2 minutes before late reg ended. So obviously we're on the final table bubble, but hand for hand. Got a big hand here, better than the one I had before. Decided not to. Probably going to just commit with this one. But they just fold. So yeah, it's been an interesting little tournament. This, but a few moments. Nothing particularly spectacular. You haven't seen too many sevens or good eights. It's been kind of a little bit more pedestrian than it sometimes is in terms of big hands. Well, that's a bad thing. It's just the way it pans out, right? Pairs of fives and fours, um, and don't really improve. Um, Probably gonna have to call this raise, aren't I? Yeah. I mean, all the odds I'm getting like 4-1 just on that call, right? And gonna draw. When I hit number 3, would you believe it, right? So I'm trying to actually induce a raise here. But that didn't work out at all. They both just fold, even though Falk was pat. But whatever, I was lucky enough to hit. So somebody's a bingo stupid idiot. Is that me? Maybe that's me. Or is it Filio? I don't know. Filio, I think it might be me. Okay, well, some people are just idiotic themselves, aren't they, frankly? I wonder why people have to hurl insults at other people. It's so weird. So weird. Never have the well, I basically never insult people like ever, to be honest. I've got pat number 10 here. Isn't that nice? Go to 1800, he just immediately folds, which is a little bit frustrating. Don't want to telegraph in any way that I have a big hand, but Just fold this very, very quickly. So Filio doesn't have any chips. Goes and hits there though and drew one, so it's basically a flip. Still an 8, we've been on 8 for a long time. Got enough here to open. So the worst 8 draw I'm going to open there. He just folds. Still a pretty good draw though, all the same. Got about 20 big blinds at the moment, by the way, which is, yeah, something you can work with even when you have antes like this. Got an interesting little graph there. Starting to get a little bit tired now. Off to bed, I think, after this. So, I play this as a 2-card draw, maybe? I'm not going to play it at all if you do that. And what happens here? Falco, whatever the name is. Yeah, he's out now, so he's out, and that's HJ Filio. He manages to get rid of him. On the other table, I've got 865. I decide to make a 9 here. He draws 1, so most of the time I'm going to win this. But not this time, and he's got the nuts. Oh no, he goes and hits the nuts on the river, and now I really am in a whole pile of poo. We go to the final table, we're on the bubble, the immediate bubble now. Took a long time to eliminate somebody, but actually 2 people got knocked out. 1 on each table, I guess. On the other table, 2. 4th place out of these 6, so you really don't want to miss out here. So it's somebody on this six-handed final table is going to miss out. Shouldn't be me because I've got more chips than a couple of people, but you know, it's very easy to get sucked in, or you just make a big hand and you lose to one of the bigger stacks. Nothing you can do about it, right? In a couple more minutes of this video, yeah, there's going to be a second part. Moby Dick is always a tricky dicky customer, so not really that happy to see him on this final table. He plays bigger stakes than this. Goes and wins that little pot with a pair of 3s. More chips than me. Got a good draw here. Got to get some money in with it. Got a juice blocker as well, for what that's worth. And they both fold. Go and hit a 98. Decide to bet like 40% of the pot, something like that. And Ottoman calls me, and I'm pretty happy with that. So I've won 2/3 of my showdown so far, which is fantastic. What did he call me with? All 10-9. Ooh, okay. Ah, it's a shame they fold there, right? Another good draw here. I'm going to play it as a draw, most certainly. 8-6-3-2 is just a really good draw. It's, you know, the implied odds you have from something like that, it's much better than you would have with just the jack. See what he does. He folds. And I get up to 25,000. I'm actually leading the tournament. Would you believe that? Hardly seems possible. It's the first time for 2 hours that I'm leading the tournament, right? I was leading it, I think, very, very briefly right at the beginning when there were only 5 people in the tournament, right? Now there are 6. Now we are 6. Can't really say that. And so Moby Dick kind of loses a lot of stackage there. And my Filio hitting that one, 97. So Moby Dick down a little bit there. 9875 in this position, that's not good enough. On the cut-off, I think it's Marshall. We busted it to the easy open, but depends on your table as well. So Ottoman goes out, and we're down to 5 now, and that's where we're going to finish it. Hope you enjoyed that one. Second part's coming up, and yeah, it'll be yeah, I hope it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens in that part, right? And yes, I'm now in the money, and which, a couple of occasions thought that was probably quite unlikely, but managed to just survive. A few all-ins there and stuff, weren't there? So, and yeah, so don't go away. Join me for part two.